What's going on, guys? This is Mickey Martin coming at you with the Guitar Fundamentals, Episode 1. In this, we're going to talk about the parts of your guitar and the open chords. We're going to start up at the head of the guitar. The guitar is named just like a person, the head, the neck, and the body of the guitar. And on the head of the guitar, we have our tuning pegs. And these are what you use to make the notes go more sharp or flat. Sharp means higher and flat is lower in pitch. Right below where the head meets the neck, this little white portion is called the nut. And this is where the portion of the strings that you play begins. Now the tuning for the strings, starting on the lowest string, is E, that's our low E, A, D, G, B, and high E. I like to say, eat all day, get big easy. E all day, get big easy. E, A, D, G, B, E. Now, on the neck itself, these metal portions are called frets, and if you're not pushing anything and the string is just on the nut itself, it's considered open. So if you push on this first gap, that would be first fret. The second gap would be second fret. And you don't push directly on the metal piece itself. If you push anywhere in the gap before the metal piece, it will be hitting directly on that metal piece. And it makes it so that you don't have to be as precise and you'll still get that good intonation with every note. A violin player, for instance, would have to hit directly where the fret is without actually having any frets on their instrument. Now, another thing to note about the frets is that we have dots on the fretboard. Most of the time there will be some on the fretboard itself, but mine are just on the side of the fretboard. And the side markers are really the most important because that's what you see as a player. And they'll indicate just quick reference points of 3, 5, 7, 9, and then the 12th fret. And that double dot, the 12th fret, is the octave. So when you play your low E string, if you play the 12th fret of the low E string, it will be an E as well, just an octave higher. So it's the same as playing the second fret on the D string. And that works with every string. So if you, for instance, play an E chord down here, you just have to imagine that the nut is your 12th fret and you can play your E chord up here. It's just an octave higher. So really, if you learn the guitar from here to here, you can translate that exact same knowledge from here and all the way up to, if your guitar has 24 frets, that would be a whole nother guitar basically, just an octave higher. Now moving up, if your guitar is acoustic, it'll have a sound hole, and this is where the sound resonates from. With electric guitars, you have pickups, either 2 or 3, rarely 1, but sometimes 1 pickup. And those will be little magnets that pick up the vibrations of the strings. And then the ends of the strings will come down to a bridge, which on acoustic guitars is a wood piece, and on electric guitars will be a metal piece. Most of the time 2 pieces, sometimes 1, but most of the time when it's 1 piece, it'll be a tremolo with a whammy bar. And then guitars will have strap buttons here, and then most of the time here. This classical guitar requires you to tie the other end of the strap here with a piece of string. And then this guitar has electronics, so you could plug a chord in here with electronics here, and that's just so you can play it through an amplifier, but it still sounds like an acoustic guitar coming through the amp. It's not an electric guitar. If you put like distortion on it or something like that, it sounds really weird, so you don't really hear people doing that. So now let's get into the open chords. Now open chords can be either major or minor. A major chord sounds happy, while a minor chord sounds sad. So again, major compared to minor. So just a big feel difference in those. Now let's start with A. Now the E down low, it does fit the A chord, but it sounds best to have your root note on the bottom of the chord. So we're gonna start on the A string, which is the second string of the guitar. And we're gonna fret the second fret of the D, G, B string and leave the E string open. And then to make that minor, we're just going to change one note, and that note's going to be on the B string. We're going to put it on the first fret. So that's second fret on the D and G string with first fret on the B string. And we're skipping that low E string still. Now B, that chord we're going to skip because it's a bar chord, the exact same as A, just barred one fret up. And we're going to skip bar chords for now because we're just learning open chords. Now C, and a lot of times you can play a C with that third fret of the low E string. We want to start with the root note, so we're just going to play our C like this. So that's starting on the A string, third fret, second fret on the D string, open G string, and then first fret on the B string, and an open E. And then C minor is also going to be a bar chord, so we're going to skip C minor. And we're going to go to D. So this, we're skipping the low E and the A string. The A string does fit, but we're going to skip it because we want to start on the root note of the chord. So that's just an open D string with second fret on the G string, third fret on the B string, and second fret on the high E string. And to make it minor, we're just going to change one note, but we do have to change our fingering. So this is an open D, and we're putting our middle finger on the second fret of the G string, ring finger, third fret of the B string, and first finger on the first fret of the high E string. So major to minor. From D, we'll go to E. Now, a lot of folks think the guitar is tuned in E, but it's actually tuned in the key of C. With the key of C, you can use all of the open strings. It's just the third mode of the C scale. Now, the E chord, we're playing an open low E, second fret on the A string, second fret on the D string, first fret on the G string, and then open B and E, strumming all the strings. And to make it minor, we're just going to change one note. We're going to lift off our pointer finger. So now we're holding the second fret of the A and D strings still, but with an open G string. F is a bar chord that looks exactly the same as E, just barred on the first fret. We're going to skip it because it's a bar chord. And then G, that's going to be third fret on the low E string, second fret on the A string, open D string, open G string, and then third fret on the B and high E string. And you could play it without the B string being held down with just B being open. Both of those notes fit the chord perfect. And then G minor is going to be a bar chord as well. So we're going to skip that for now. So those are all the open chords there. Learn them really well. Learn how to transition from one to another as fast as you can. And once you feel like you've got them down well enough, click right here and check out part 2 of Guitar Fundamentals. You guys take it easy out there. Peace.